See you later. What a beautiful, sunny summer San Diego morning. This is nice.
For those of you who don't know, I am a communication major at San Diego State University, which is why I have to dress up like a monkey a lot. Now, as a communications scholar, I'm required to just get to know people, talk to a lot of people, give speeches, and just generally be good with people. And for one of my class assignments, I had to interview two people who were in careers that I might potentially want to go into. And these two people that I interviewed are bike shop owners. First, I interviewed Dave Scrod of Retrogression, and second, I interviewed Kate Coper. I'm sorry, Kate, I didn't ask how to pronounce your last name, of Hub and Spoke Cycle Works. With that, I present to you that speech that I gave to my class because I thought you all might enjoy it. So let's get on with Do It Yourself. Talking with entrepreneurs. So back in March, I attended the College of Business Career Fair strictly for the purpose of getting to know people and seeing what the job market is out there and the people that are doing these jobs. And while I met a lot of nice people at the career fair, I just didn't care about what they did or the companies that they worked for. Most of the companies there just seemed like those corporations that are just a bunch of people in business suits that go around and shake each other's hands to keep our shareholders happy. So after the career fair, although I didn't walk away with any job prospects lined up for me, I did learn something very important about myself. I learned exactly what I don't want to do. I don't want a corporate job working 40 hours a week doing something that I don't care about. So this got me thinking, and I came to the conclusion that unless I'm doing exactly what I want to do under my terms, working for myself, there will probably be a better use of my time. Because of this reason, I decided to interview entrepreneurs, which is just a big fancy word for people who work for themselves. And because I like bikes and stuff, obviously, because you're on the bike channel, I decided to interview bike shop owners. So let's get on with the first interview. What exactly did I learn from Dave Scrod of Retrogression? If you don't know already, Retrogression is a worldwide supplier of track and fixed gear bike stuff, and they do a pretty dang good job at it. But as you can see from Retrogression's Instagram feed, Retrogression isn't your typical bike shop, and Dave Scrod isn't your typical businessman. With my interview with Scrod, he taught me the importance about taking calculated risks. When I asked what was the career path you took, he told me that I didn't really have a career path, I just kinda did it. And he told me that Retrogression was a shop that was catering to its own needs that other people in the market weren't catering to. And from that, Retrogression was able to grow into the successful bike shop that it is today. Scrod told me that in the beginning there were a ton of naysayers telling him that it just couldn't be done. A fixed gear and track specific bike shop just wouldn't work because it was too narrow of a focus for a bike shop to have. And back in the mid-2000s, that certainly seemed to be the case. But regardless of what all the naysayers were telling Scrod, he decided to take the risk because he knew that there was potential in the market that nobody was meeting. A lot of those naysayers told him that there were no track specific bike shops because nobody wanted them. But Scrod looked at that from a different perspective. He said that because there was no track-specific bike shop, there was a huge potential for this market. And he was right. His shop catered to his own needs as a rider, and because he had this need, he knew that other people must have this need as well. And he told me this story of when he was starting out and the risk that it entailed to start Retrogression. Scrod told me that in the beginnings of Retrogression, he and his wife Angie were shipping parts out of their house, and a lot of their traffic was coming from bikeforums.net. He was unemployed and he was collecting unemployment in order to fund his business, which he informed me was 100% illegal. But he did it anyway because this was a great opportunity for him to start building up a bike shop. So sometime down the line where Angie and Scrod were shipping parts out of their house, their little business grew into something where they needed a storefront, and Scrod decided to check out a place on Craigslist to open a Retrogression storefront. He came home to Angie with the keys for the new Retrogression storefront, and Angie asked him, "Are you sure about this?" And Scrod, in a Scrod-like demeanor, replied, "I don't know. We'll see." Here, Scrod took a huge risk in order to further Retrogression. People told him that it couldn't be done, and to be honest, nobody really knew if it could actually be done. On top of that, he didn't exactly have all the funds to start a business in the traditional sense. Instead, squads started super small and built up retrogression over time. And here I learned regardless of what business you're starting, there's going to be a huge amount of risk if you want to do that unless you're already super rich, which most of us aren't. But if you're smart enough, you can get a better understanding of whether that risk is worth taking. Now, my second interview was with Kate Coper of Hub and Spoke Cycle Work, and you could check out the highlights of my interview with her by clicking the card above. Now, for a little background, Hub and Spoke Cycle Works is also a different kind of bike shop. They are a full-service bike shop, and their main focus is on providing really high-quality service for your bike. Kate told me that they don't sell bikes, they won't try to sell you a bike, but something cool that they do is custom frame building and custom paint jobs, along with teaching you how to service your own bike. She said that the goal of Hub and Spoke Cycle Works was to become a community hub, I guess pun intended on her part, for the cycling community, for everyone to just hang out and to be together and to have this kind of collective atmosphere. Now, the first lesson that Kate taught me was the importance of hard work and exactly how much hard work you have to put into if you want to work for yourself and be an entrepreneur. And how hard do you have to work? Well, really hard. Kate told me that she works 10 to 13 hours per week, 6 days a week. And she told me that her work week is usually around 70 hours. That's almost double the work time of just a normal full-time corporate job. And on top of that, you're not going to make as much money as working for quote-unquote the man. When I asked her what her average workday looks like, she said, it looks a lot like turn a wrench, turn a wrench, turn a wrench, turn a wrench, come in again the next day, and do it all over. When you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're running your own business, it's a lot less glamorous than a lot of people think. There is a lot of hard work behind the payoff, which is getting to work under your own terms. But Kate taught me that even though you have to work harder than you ever will in your entire life, it's all worth it. Again, the lesson of risk came up here in our interview. Kate told me that in the beginning, it felt like she was always failing and that nobody was noticing the good work that they were putting in. But she advised me that as long as you keep on doing good work, word of mouth will spread, people will know the good work that you do, and they will come. If you build it, they will come. She told me that in the beginning, a lot of times she just wanted to drop her own shop and go back to working as a mechanic for someone else's shop. But in retrospect, she told me, she sure was hell glad she stuck with it. I learned in my interviews with these entrepreneurs that if you want to work for yourself, you're going to have to work like you've never worked before. You never quite know what's going to happen next, and that's what's scary about being an entrepreneur, but that's also what is exciting. It will be hard, you will want to quit, and you will want to cry. But I also learned that in the end, it's all worth it. As my favorite singer, the legend himself, Frank Sinatra said, "The record shows I took the blows and did it my way."